Hello again. I've long been fascinated by the contradictory portrayal of black people in films, on television, and in the printed media. When seen in films, television dramas, and advertisements, black people are invariably shown as confident, successful, and usually prosperous types. The images are of folk who are able to get on in life. In news stories, though, they are generally shown as quite the opposite. They are usually seen as hapless victims of a brutal and uncaring white racist society, one where black people always end up with a raw deal. One thinks in Britain of Stephen Lawrence, for instance. In other words, there is a huge contradiction between the black achievement in fiction and the apparent situation in the real world. Every so often a case crops up in the news which throws this contrast into sharp focus, often with bizarre effect. Take the tragic case of Karmelo Anthony in Texas. Two teenagers, one white and the other black, have a minor altercation which ends with one of them being stabbed to death in the course of a murderous assault. The black parents of one of those involved give a press conference in which the mother broke down in tears and spoke of her pain. Allow me to quote, "Good afternoon, my name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have." She went on to say, "In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Why? My mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what might happen to her. And also my 3 younger children, my husband and I, didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, have been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger as well as everyone in our community." Then we hear the following. "I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against. We ask for your continued support, patience and prayers as we navigate this difficult process." Now, this is all very sad and dramatic, but one could perhaps understand this if it were a grief-stricken mother mourning the loss of her child. She's not. She is actually the mother of a young man who hacked another boy to death, and she is stricken with grief because people are shocked at the killing. In the most tacky and weird way imaginable, here is a woman whose son has killed somebody, and she is framing the matter as though he and his family are actually the victims. There is no dispute about the fact that Karmelo Anthony, a 17-year-old black youth, stabbed to death a white 17-year-old called Austin Metcalf. The debate is about who the victim in the case is, and quite a few black people, including the killer's parents, are claiming that the boy who wielded the knife is the victim, rather than the boy who was actually killed. The reason is, of course, our old friend institutional racism, which is causing many people to hold unfavourable opinions about the youth who actually carried out the lethal assault. They are doing so because they live in a racist society and are very swift to condemn a black youth for doing anything at all. In the description to this video, I give a link not only to the film of the press conference, at which the mother became so emotional at the injustice to which she and her family are being subjected, I give a link to a news item about this extraordinary case. I said to begin with that there is a contradiction between the idea of black victimhood in real news stories, of which this is a prime example, and the black success stories which we see in advertisements and films. There is a delightful connection here with the story of Karmelo Anthony because as a result of his killing that other youth, his family have recently moved into a swanky gated community and are buying new cars and luxury goods at a frantic rate. The reason for their sudden affluence and adoption of a wealthy lifestyle is not known, although an appeal for support following the tragedy has so far raised getting on for $500,000. It was a suggestion that her family were profiting in this way from their son's actions, which prompted his mother to make that tearful appeal for understanding and compassion. At any rate, although she and her husband and children are now living a life of luxury, which has only begun since their son was arrested and charged with murder, the mother still sees herself as an eternal victim, which rather neatly sums up the point which I have been making.